A lot of people don't know that there were actually several theaters that were built in and around the downtown. The Majestic Theater was on Maynard, and it was replaced by the Maynard Street parking structure back in the 1950s. There was a beautiful old opera house which was built in 1871 called the Whitney Theater, and it was torn down in the 1950s. There were two cinemas and vaudeville theaters that were on Main Street called the Orpheum and the Worth. And then there were several cinemas, the Fifth Forum or the Ann Arbor Theater, the Campus Theater. All of those are gone, and that's just a few of the places that were originally cinemas. You would expect there to be more theaters, and not all of them can survive. And the Michigan was indeed the grandest of the movie palaces. We're fortunate that in 1979, folks said, hey, we need to save the Michigan Theater, and they saved the most appropriate one, I think, of the historic theaters. So when a community saves a historic facility, it requires an ongoing commitment by the community. So we have thousands and thousands of members of the Michigan Theater. We have people who are members of our Towsley Society and donate at a higher level to support what we do here.
Bruce and I became Towsley members about 8 years ago. We decided to step up our commitment because we wanted to provide resources to the theaters to sustain it with all the other operational activities that go on. We take those responsibilities seriously, and our Towsley commitment is our pledge to the theater that we want it to be able to be a healthy institution in town.
The support of the community in maintaining and preserving and restoring the Barton organ is a vital part to its survival here, because the whole theater needs to operate with the support of the community.
So to have this instrument here and the fact that it's played all the time and is in such beautiful condition makes the Michigan Theater very, very special indeed.
Without the community support, they couldn't be doing everything that they're doing. They couldn't make the improvements on the organ.
It's kind of become the voice of the Michigan Theater, as it were.
Every time the organ comes up, or every time there's any kind of silent film or live show or any of the events, it's saying thank you for your help in supporting us.
The Cinetopia Festival was tremendous. We had a wonderful, wonderful opening night with a very full house for 8th grade, this great Bo Burnham film. And then the week just continued with people on the street going back and forth between the State Theater and the Michigan Theater. And it felt like the best festival ever. With the renovated State Theater and the improvements that we've made to the Michigan Theater, it makes our everyday films special, but it's going to make premiering films at Cinetopia very, very special.
The State Theater did open in early December, and the community loved it. They love the theaters themselves and the quality of the experience viewing movies. They love the artistic nature of the place. They love meeting friends. It has really become a community meeting place, which is exactly what this facility was designed to do. And I think we have accomplished that. The work on the main theater at the Michigan Theater is completed. The new seats have been installed and carpeting has been laid, and the work behind the scenes has been completed. Our audiences will really notice how improved the sound and the screen is in the large theater at the Michigan.
We're very theater dependent, obviously, on our business. You know, there's an uptick whenever there's a show, concert, UMS show, big time movies. And what we saw was when the State finally opened, now we're a little bit more steady because the amount of volume the State Theater brings, which is, again, it's great for a business like us. We wouldn't know what to do without the theaters, to be quite honest with you.
The theatrical experience is one of the last remaining vestiges of our public storytelling culture. So for me as a filmmaker, I'm a public storyteller. I want to share my stories with a crowd of people. And I think the Michigan Theater and the State Theater constantly enable independent filmmakers like myself to do that with our films.
There is something that seems to envelop you when you sit down in your seat and the lights go down and you become immersed in a story. And I'm taken kind of into that artistic womb for that brief time. And for me, that's magical.
People are really wanting to keep this place as a hub of the community, and then to draw people here, and it creates happiness, it creates like the bond of the family and the friends. I think contributing is also showing that people are enjoying and wanting to return.
I really had never been involved in an organization that really dealt with the arts, the cultural health, for lack of a better term, of our community. This is the most fun that I've ever had on a charitable board, because we're in the business of entertaining people. We're doing good charitable work, and we're having fun at the same time and making people happy.
I think it's important for the community and sponsors to continue to donate, because so often our students don't get to experience live the history that we can teach them about, and they can learn about, hey, this was here a long, long, long time ago when your grandparents were here.
I think it adds to the quality of life in Ann Arbor, and as one gets older, that's the kind of legacy one wants to leave behind.
To me, it's obviously a livelihood, but it's transcended that, and it kind of transcended that from the first day I walked in. We could not be the award-winning community that we are without organizations like the Michigan Theater, and the Towsley Society is the most important support group for that dynamic.